Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Alexandra here. How's everybody doing? Today I have a early 2000s frosty inspired lip. Not the best time for makeup, and I know because I was there, blue eyeshadow and all. But anyways, today I'm going to do products that have pan in my collection, products that are not used up, just that have pan showing or a lot of pan showing. Yeah, I don't have a lot in my collection of products that have pan because I kind of like zone in and get tunnel vision when I use my makeup, and I just use up that item until it's absolutely gone. But there are a few things here that have had pan on them for a few years or newer even this year. So I just thought it would be kind of fun for me to like show them to you. We can talk about them, hang out, and I think I'm going to do this video maybe like once a year just to see what pans kind of roll over, and maybe what new pans join, what pans leave. That's a lot of pan. That might be kind of like interesting. I do like to talk numbers a lot. Some of these items are really, really old. They should be like used up, but like they just take forever. The item is probably one of the older items that you're going to see today. This is kind of a funny item. So it's 3-second brow. If anybody remembers this, it had stampers in here. So you could dip it into the powder, the stamper, and stamp it onto your eyebrow. I never did that. I never even tried. I don't know how this ended up in my collection, but it did. And I've been using it. I was using it for quite a while as a brow powder, and it was a lovely shade. I loved it. This is how much pan it has. Quite a bit. I will admit I probably haven't touched this for 2 years. So I really need to start using it again, but I've been using eyeshadows in my brows to try to pan some eyeshadows. So that's the problem with brow powders. You don't need a brow powder. I think that like fad and trend has kind of rolled out because people know that they can use an eyeshadow palette as multi-purpose palette. It doesn't have to be just eyeshadows. It can be a face palette. So most people are doing that, trying to pan their eyeshadows because they're smaller. But anyways, this has pan. I had pan for a while too. This is my favorite bronzer. This is a Mary Kay bronzer. I have gone through several of these before. So this has quite a bit of pan in it. I've probably gone through, I want to say at least 3 of these. This is probably my 4th one. So love it. But it's been lingering for a while because I'm trying to pan another bronzer. So, and I don't go through bronzers very fast either. So they just hang out in my collection for a long time. This is a massive highlighter by Jeffree Star. His highlighters are freaking huge. This is Princess Cut. I wanted this forever. I've got it a few years ago as well. Not as old as the bronzer, but not too far ahead or whatever. Not too much newer. And this has quite a little bit of pan showing. It's weird how the pan formed because it's not really thin around it. It just sort of like was a hole and then it just kept going. His formula, at least for the, what are these? His formula, at least for the Skin Frosts, are really like thick and chunky. So I think that's how this pan ended up, like digging in it, trying to get a lot of product on my brush. I love this highlighter, but unfortunately I haven't touched this either in a couple of years. A highlighter that I have been using, I was using it as like my highlighter for last year. This is an Ofra highlighter with Madison Miller, and it is in Sea Shimmer. It's a bit too dark for me in the winter, but it's okay in the summertime. Massive pan on this one. So much so that I probably should repress it, but because I don't want to use it for this year, I'm like, nope, I'm not going to repress it. It's fine. I might try to dip into this a little bit this summer, but no guarantees. Another highlighter in my collection that has had pan for a while. I think I hit pan on this last year. It's very small. So, and if you are watching my Project Pan 2022, this is in it, so this is a bit of a spoiler, but it's not finished yet. This is the like Alchemist single highlighter from Kat Von D, and it had pan on it before the beginning of the year, but now it has quite a bit of pan. I don't doubt that this will probably be used up in the next month. It's a very powdery, crumbly, dry, flaky formula, and it's always been like that. This is very old. This is my oldest highlighter in my collection. I am wearing it today. It's cute. It's kind of like teal, sparkle. it's cute. It's nice. It's just, even when you apply it, it's like a glitter bomb, goes everywhere. So it is one of my favorites, just the way it looked, but there's so many new highlighters that have come out and like exploded in the last 5 years that I don't need this anymore in my collection, just lingering. So I'm going to try to use this one up this year. I do have some eyeshadows. It takes me forever and a day to use up eyeshadows or hit pan on them. I'm going to start with this little single here. This single has been in my project pan for 3 years probably. This is its 3rd year and I'm like, it's got to go this year. So this is intense eyeshadow. I can't even, Cohiba? I can't really see it. Anyways, it's by Nomad Cosmetics, this eyeshadow, and it's got a lot of pan on it. Tons and tons of pan. This is a really nice formula, actually. I'm wearing it today with another shade from my Urban Decay palette that I'm going to show you here in a minute. This is a really nice, smooth, minimal fallout formula. You can go through this quite quickly once you actually start using it. It's a shimmer after all. You know me, it's been lingering for years and years and years. I mean, I've been actively working on it the last 3 years, but it probably sat in my collection 3 years before I actually touched it. So this is definitely old and needs to be moved out. I only have 3 Naked palettes by Urban Decay, and I'm going to show you them because they all have a pan in them, which is really exciting. So I have 2 little guys. What I'm going to show you is my Naked Basics Mini. I've had this for years. I didn't actively start working on it till last year, like really. So there is quite a bit of pan in here, but let me explain. This one I dug out and was using it as like eyeliner last year, so I did waste some of that product, but even if I did include some of that waste, there for sure would have been pan on it anyways. These 2 are long gone, or maybe it's these 2, I can't remember, but 2 of them, the darker shades, I have mixed and I have pressed into another pan. I use it to contour sometimes, so those ones aren't done. So just 2 of these out of this 4 are done. And then this guy at the end here, I did hit pan on it this year. I use it as a very subtle highlight sometimes. So there's still quite a bit of product when you include that other pan, but I have pan on 2 of the shades. So that's exciting. And then my Naked 2 mini guy, I've had this for years as well. Actually, all 3 of them. They're really old. I've been using this a lot in the last few years, like probably the last 5 years. This was like my go-to everyday palette for a while, as you're gonna see. So 4 of the shades are completely done, and then this one I was using in my brows for a while, but they're so condensed and tightly packed, Urban Decay shadows, that they just take forever to hit pan on. And then this one I used in my eyes quite a bit, but again, because I'm panning another Urban Decay palette, this is kind of taking the back seat. So this one I should really though focus on, because there's only 2 eyeshadows left, and this would technically count as a palette. So if I could get this out of my collection, I've never panned an eyeshadow palette in my life, so that would be really exciting. I need to start focusing on that. This is kind of like a spoiler for my Pan That palette. Not really, because I'm only going to be doing updates every 2 months, so there's still another month for me to get progress. This is my Urban Decay Naked Ultimate Basics palette that I'm doing the Pan That palette with the Fantastic Ladies collab. So I initially chose this because I'd never really used it. I mean, maybe a handful of times before the beginning of the year, and that's fine. But when I started doing this and really digging into it this year, I didn't realize that everything was like mattes. Or maybe I did realize it was mattes, but I didn't think it would be as difficult to work with. But mattes are difficult to work with, and I swear this is the tightest packed formula out there for eyeshadows. So it's just crazy. All right, so these 3 shades that have nothing in them, I haven't completely panned them this year. Trust me. I am using them as like a face powder because, like I said, if you watch my Pan That palette video, this is going to be used as a face palette for the year, because there's going to be no hope in hell that I'm going to be able to pan any of them probably, if I just use them as eyeshadow. So these 3, they have been pressed into another pan, but it's broke. So now it's like a loose powder. But I know that I've used enough of these 3 combined that if I were to like repress them back into their original pans, they would all 3 probably for sure have pan on them. So I'm going to count those. So there's that little spoiler. So those are all my pans that I have in my collection. Not a ton. I mean, I don't know how people can hit pan on like 25 or 35 eyeshadows in a year. I can't. I just don't know how they do it. But so mine is going to be very limited. I don't have a lot of pans, as you saw, but I'm trucking along on them. So, and it's not always about the pans, it's about how many makeup empties you can get at the end of the year. So I'm trying to like keep that in mind and, you know, see if I can roll a few out, roll a few new pans in, just kind of document it, and we'll see in a year where I'm at. Anyways, thanks for watching today. Thanks for hanging out. Let me know if you've panned any of these things, if you're working on any of these things, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.